Stop. Okay, now I think it's working. Now I think it's working.
Yay!
Hopefully, everything up to this point is not included.
You mean when I was combing your beard and giving you wet willies?
Okay, now let's go back to Patreon and see if it's up.
Okay.
Refresh.
The tension. It's thick. It's real.
Okay.
Ah!
I wanted to test this, but I have a feeling it's always going to be this awkward.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look, people are messaging.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So let's see.
Okay,
trying to get back in.
Up for a sec, but then Patreon app froze trying to get back in. These live stuff is so frustrating.
And we're like at the best Wi-Fi situation we could ever have.
Okay, Harold again.
Oh.
Getting this on my PC.
Okay, Harold.
Okay.
Can he hear?
Or let's see. Start Hangout. Let me do this. Where's the Hangout? The Hangout's here. I'm gonna take that.
Oh, someone was down there.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take that and put this. Let me close. Okay, let me click that. And now agree and start. Okay, got it. Join. Harold's there.
Dean Webster's there.
He's there. Dean's there. Harold's there. Hit OK. A very professional picture of Harold.
And very nice. Looking sharp.
Yes, yes.
All right, okay.
Okay. Oh, now more people are showing up.
Check this out.
Hello. I think that's Rena. Oh, wait a second. We can hear people?
We can see you and hear you?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Harold. So cool.
Oh, I had no idea it was going to be like this.
No. This is awesome.
Oh, this is way better than I thought.
But it kind of like goes in and out.
Well, when someone talks, their picture comes up.
Oh, fantastic. I'm loving the scrapbook room.
Thank you.
Like, seriously cool.
Oh, wow. This is cooler than I thought. Okay, so I see Bill and Dean is here. Dean's mic is on mute. Harold's here. Harold, you can hear us?
I can hear you, but I'm on my PC. I don't have a camera.
Well, you've got that professional picture. I don't think it matters.
That's all we need.
And then Dean is here. He's muted. Dean, can you hear us? Okay,
Probably
no, Bill.
He can.
Maybe his mic's not on.
Yeah. Oh, maybe not.
Okay, so so now before we officially start, let me go back to the stream. Hello. So Andrea said hello. So I think we have to click the button. You have to actually click in to sign in, right? Let me put that. Click the avatar to go to the live meeting. Okay. And then I think people go to Google. Now, here's the next question. Do you think you need a Google Hangout account to make this work?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I didn't know I had a Google Hangout account.
Okay. Wait, who else is here? That looks like...
Hey!
That looks like Harold, too. It is.
I'm signed in twice.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, I had no idea it was a Google Hangout.
Well, this is cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a YouTube live stream that then fed through Patreon, which is exactly why we wanted to test it.
Okay.
But there's like 37 comments on the thing, and I hope everyone knows how to get in.
Well, I got another email, and I just clicked on the link in the email, and it brought me here.
Okay. Well, hopefully everyone gets the email. I think you're right. I think we did it once, and I didn't know how it worked, and then I did it again. So unfortunately, we did it twice.
Well, at least now we'll have like some directions.
Yeah.
Because
if you can see people, I'm not joining.
Our mother-in-law just said, my mother-in-law, Mark's mom, just said, if you can see people, I'm not joining.
No, that's an option.
That is an option, which makes me laugh because she's so adorable. Okay, so.
All right, well, this is the best I can do.
Jump in, and then we can just have our,
we
can all chat. Because the whole idea here is to kind of figure this out and see if it works and
Yeah, this is just a bit scary. So anyway, I mean, it's scary because like then I haven't figured anything out. Like it's going to be this much of a cluster next time.
Yeah. Well.
All right, but other people are jumping in.
Hi.
I have a feeling no one knows that their videos are going to be on. It's going to be like, oh.
All right. Oh,
yes. It's going to be like that.
Hello. Oh, wait.
Hello.
Is Santa Claus here?
Oh gosh, I recognize that Santa Claus avatar.
Goodness.
Oh, it's going
Yeah,
now.
Jonathan, Melissa. Wow, look at it.
This is cool.
This is very cool.
Oh, Melissa's here. Melissa, we just saw you in San Diego.
Yeah. Super cool to see you again. Okay, so.
Okay, well, first things first. I realize the time is ridiculous. We're Mountain Standard Time, and it's way too late for everybody.
Yeah.
And the only reason we did it is like
well, we wanted to try and we got to rip the Band-Aid off and try and figure out how it's done. So anyway, so let's make this like 30 minutes. We can hang out. We can answer your questions.
But the next one, so let's talk about that. What's the ideal time? There are East, I figured that
yeah.
like,
what is anybody on the East Coast? Mid?
I'm on Mountain Time.
Mountain.
Pacific.
Central here.
Pacific.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, that makes sense because it's like
it's
well,
like
actually it's only 10 o'clock Eastern. I'd be up.
I might be.
I'd be up, but I'm not there.
But anyway, I think maybe the ideal time is like 5:30, so that way people on the Pacific are available. But yet it's only like 8:30 in the East. That's what I was thinking. So maybe the next one would be 5:30.
Okay.
And then we have a whole bunch of questions.
Should I be taking notes?
We have a whole bunch of questions, but at the same time, well, I guess some people might be watching the replay. So let's go through some of these questions because the first one was really interesting. And that was, I'll go to the top. It was, now that you guys have been on the road for so long and you've seen all sorts of different things, is there, like, what is the rig you would get? So we just went to the California RV show.
Yes.
And I think we know exactly what we want.
We would love a travel trailer,
no,
toy hauler,
fifth wheel.
Fifth wheel. Yes. Let me say that again. A toy hauler fifth wheel.
Yeah.
I got it right.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is because the boys can have their whole back area, and then we can put the bikes in the back because the bikes have just gotten destroyed.
Yeah, but Tori, we went and Tori goes, so wait a minute. I'm going from having the biggest bed to like a loft up, and you're going to put me up on top of like the fridge.
Yeah.
We're like, well, you're only going to be here a few more months.
And then otherwise she's going to be visiting.
And then we said, or you could share your brothers. And she was like, I'm fine. I will take the loft and I will walk away slowly. So anyway.
But we feel like we put the bikes on the back of the truck and everything was great for a long time, and then the bikes started rusting, and then they just got like and then we got hard to maintain them, and then we stopped riding, and now they just live on the back of the truck. It's not good. Mm-hmm. And so then I think with the toy hauler we can put them in that back garage area, and the bed we can go kind of above them. Is that what we're thinking? That's kind of what we're thinking.
Anyway, but we'll see what ends up happening. Just like we've said, always Ginger has gotten us where we are, and she's done a fabulous job.
And she's broken in.
And yes, and we know what to expect. So honestly, it doesn't really matter. We're still on the road. We're still doing fun things. We're still seeing cool things.
And we're talking about Alaska next May, and I hear that road can be pretty tough on rigs. Mm-hmm. And at this point, nothing else could happen to Ginger.
You might want to knock on wood.
Well,
if you guys get a fifth wheel, you're gonna have to get a new truck.
Yeah, I know.
You're absolutely right. Yes. You're absolutely right.
Now you know what I was doing at 5:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And that's not an easy process either. So first, the truck and then the trailer. There's so many moving parts. It would be easy to stay put, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But being at an RV show, you constantly have to remind yourself, hey, I'm excited about where we are and what we're doing, and if we expand, that's also cool. Yeah. So as far as like what we'd really love, that's what we'd really love.
Someone said, Wendy says, it keeps telling me the call has ended. Look for another email, I think. Okay, so let me go back to the questions here. Okay, so rigs. Okay, Margaret asked, how do we handle medical insurance and needs while we're on the road? Well,
the great part about coming home is that we get to check in with dentists, doctors, and that's how we're dealing with appointments. But we've always been private as far as as insurance coverage is concerned.
Mhm.
So there's kind of two parts to that question, right?
Yeah. You
So-
mean like the checkups, which aren't very often.
Right.
And then like anytime anyone would need any prescriptions, we just send it to Walgreens and they have all of our insurance medical information. You pick up, I mean, we just picked up something at Walgreens in San Diego, like as if it was the Walgreens on the corner.
Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of times if you have history with your doctor, you can call in and say, this is what I'm feeling, this is what's happening, even if you're on a trip.
Actually, it's actually kind of a nice little benefit because normally when you go to the doctor, you got to pay the copays and things. But when you're on the road, you call and you say, hey, you know, Caleb needs a little something, he's like eyes infected or something. And then they're like, and they call in the prescription and there's no copays, there's no anything. And I'm like, this is like doctor concierge. This is fantastic.
Except it's really not like that because we still have to do a follow-up appointment. But if you're yeah, we do. So, but if you're on a trip and you're on a trip for like a week, if say something happens in the beginning, if you have that relationship with your primary doctor, you can call in, have something out wherever you are, and then you go back and you do that check-in.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that more than once if you just you played that game.
No.
Oh, hi, it's me. I never come in. I need a prescription. So, yeah.
All right, that's a good point.
But as far as insurance,
Mm-hmm.
who are we insured through? Blue Cross Blue Shield. We do it privately, and that's what we've done for many, many years.
But we are looking into different options, and I did start looking into different options, and there's a whole bunch of full-time RVers that are on these Christian share plans, and I've done a lot of digging around. I have yet to find one person that has said something negative. I've talked to people that had claims, and I'm not talking for little things. Like, in fact, I even talked to a client of mine who's a knee surgeon, said that, yeah, someone came in with the Medicare plan, and they paid the whole thing. So,
but we have not actually done that yet.
No,
so
we haven't.
Can't. We're just sharing what other people have shared with us.
But it's 40% of our premium. No, premiums. Yeah, it's 40% of our premiums.
What do you mean when you say that?
It's 60% less than what we're paying right now
less. Okay.
in terms of our monthly premiums. So I'm incentivized to do it.
Yes.
And the deductibles are better, and the options are better.
Well, currently our insurance is like our second biggest bill. So, so anyway, so that's why we're motivated and incentivized to change that.
Okay, Rena, you've got someone behind you.
That's my husband. That's Alan.
Hi, Alan.
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you? I don't know. Your picture goes down and then up.
Well,
so
when Rena talks, it goes up.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to follow you around. So anyway, great to see you.
You guys know we're the Walking Dead people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
With the trailer?
Yeah.
Awesome. Super cool.
Okay, so I have to ask you because I was curious. I don't know if we'll ever do a wrap on the back of a toy hauler and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, but what was it like?
I was kind of curious, like, what did that cost to get the back done?
Well, the guy was really cool. He was concerned about copyright laws. So he said that because of that, he wouldn't charge us for the artwork, which would keep us out of that copyright issue.
Oh,
So
very
he just charged us for the materials and the installation, and it was $750.
Wow.
Wow.
Very
That's
cool.
very cool. Well, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of people like talking to us about it. I mean,
Of course. Yeah, it's a
definitely.
total conversation starter.
Okay, Tom, Marie, Megan, and Jen say they have a 15-year-old daughter was wondering how we're dealing with school. Does she go online, homeschool, or does she already graduate because she's smart like her mom?
Oh, that's very sweet. Okay, so here's the deal. Tori just got into college today. Yay! Like we literally just came from the counselor. But she is going online. It's a charter school. It's online. I don't know.
Right now online.
Right now online. That's how we've been dealing with it. I wanted to make sure that she was going to an accredited school that colleges would recognize. And we were already on the path. She only had 2 years. So I didn't want anything to go wrong. Just check the box, move into school.
Well, you say that because all the kids went online last year, and now only Tori goes online. So now the boys, Trisha took over the boys' schooling.
Yes. And yeah.
No, I just kidding.
It's not.
It's so much better for the boys.
It's so much better for the boys.
But it's so much harder for Trish.
Very challenging. It's very challenging. So anyway, but it's going well. I don't know how many people who are actually on this call right now, though, that are dealing with that. So we'll just make that quick, unless anybody else has another question about homeschooling.
Well,
I do have one.
Yes,
We
That's
my
the funniest thing ever.
that's awesome.
in a couple, I won't say months, but at least a year, after holidays, of course. I'm so busy at the holidays. We will be going out full time with my then 13-year-old. And the schooling part has been something that I've been fretting about, keeping her in a school environment, learning where, and I don't know, I have looked at all of these different kinds of online schools and home schools and everything else, and I can't get anyone to say, well, this is what's worked for me. Everyone goes, well, everyone's different.
Yeah. Well, so currently she's 13 and is she a sophomore?
Currently she's 11.
Oh,
And-
she'll be, I'm sorry, excuse me. Well, gosh, I wish I had more information as far as homeschooling is concerned, but I really liked for that age group. But what I really liked is K-12 is associated with the current school she's in. So she will literally be on the same learning track. So it's not like she's going to review world history or, the same math. Whereas if you like change things up and you go with a different school district or something like that, all of that can kind of get convoluted. So if you want to check out K-12, I thought that it was fantastic. The only thing that I did not like about it is that they wanted you to be on a schedule and check in on certain classes. So like at 8 o'clock, they would have like a group class and kids from all over Arizona would log on at the same time. Well, and then you'd have homework afterwards. Well, I'd rather just tell me what the chapter is and we'll go through it and finish it. So, but after I have 1 year under my belt with the boys, I really want to just dive in to let people know, hey, this is what we did. And these were, I probably won't share their test scores, but I would definitely share, okay, there was an improvement or there was a decline or there was a gap in what I knew or didn't know. So I'd be happy to dive into that with you as soon as I have more info, like even at the semester mark, to tell you, yeah, I loved this or no, this was not cool.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
I tell you what, though, Jonathan, I would not pull your kids out of the North Pole Unified just yet. Because I've heard nothing but great things about North Pole Unified.
It's run so well.
Yeah, it's just that all the teachers are so short.
Okay, so now I'm getting text messages and messages on Patreon that's saying the Google Hangout is full.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, so we won't do it like this next time.
1, 2, 3.
But guys, you can do a YouTube live stream. I watch a lot of channels for Walking Dead that have YouTube live streams.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out. I don't know how to do it.
Well, that's what this was supposed to be. Patreon. This is supposed to be an unlisted live stream through Patreon. But you're right. But you're right. I could do an unlisted live stream and then put the unlisted link on Patreon. And I think then everyone would get the link and I could eliminate Google Hangouts.
Or send it out on the email.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they can people can chat at live.
Yeah.
While you're on camera, but everybody else is just texting.
Yeah.
And it's all live. Yeah.
Yeah,
that works pretty well.
And that way people can come and.
I'm sorry, I'm so dark. I turned this off.
Okay, so yeah, we wanted to do this just to see how it would work, and then everyone started asking questions. I'm like, oh, this is got legitimate really quick. So, okay, so let's see this because there's some other good questions. Okay, we handled that. Dean asked about if we're going to be going to an F250 or F350. So here's the deal. The 2017 F350 or F250 is amazing, and I love it, but it's just too expensive for us right now, like where we want to keep the budget. So if we get a 2016, I think I'm going to go with 350, and we get a 2017 because of the payload and the cargo capacity and all the stuff. I'm going to go with a F250. So it's either going to be an F250 or F350.
There was someone that we were corresponding with that has the Momentum 351, and she said you should probably go with a 350 because
there's so many other factors in that they
Yeah.
had a Dodge, and it depends on the year, and then Ford went to the aluminum frame, and they have increased towing capacity because then Mark Wise, who's an insider, he's got the same setup, but he got the 250. So that's a situation where it really is a case by case basis. Going back to Donovan's point. Okay, so let's see. Let me look here. Have you done much or any boondocking with the family on BLM land? And if so, have you had any safety security concerns? That's Phil. I would say like boondocking BLM land is like could potentially be the most safest place you could ever be.
Yeah, I was going like this because no, I don't have any safety concerns.
Unless the safety is that they're going to go get eaten by a bear or fall into a gushing river. Then,
yes.
Then there's a safety concern.
But for the most part, the only thing I guess I could see, like when we were in, not Albuquerque, but when we were in the White Sands in New Mexico, some of that BLM land was literally paralleling the freeway. So in the daytime, people can see your rig. So if you're going to leave and they could clearly see that it's a fifth wheel or something without the truck, they're like, oh, well, those people are gone. We could go and see what's in their rig. So I guess that could happen, but that's not the way we feel when we're there.
No. Okay, now Mel and Aaron said that we've been dropping hints about the toy hauler and the fifth wheel. So is it for toys with the kids? So let me just go back to that. The toy hauler section is really for Carson and Caleb.
It's for the kids. No toys.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
Carson and Caleb. And the reason that we're going 35 feet is at 35 feet, there is a half bath in the garage. And I guess that's what it's called, the garage. So there's a half bath. That means the boys would have, they each have their own bed, and they would have a bathroom that they can do whatever they want. And then I just go in there like
well, and then I can just hand them the Clorox and say, here, you go and clean that.
With a pressure washer.
Yes.
And they could just pressure wash it out. And then.
And I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yes. So that's our thinking around that. Because really,
That's what you think, Trish.
I really, seriously, at some point I want to retire that role in my life. Spraying the wall. Why am I spraying the wall and not just the toilet with Clorox? So anyway, TMI.
But I don't want 35 feet. Honestly, 32 feet would be where I would want to be in a fifth wheel. The problem is the layouts at 32 feet just don't work for a family of 5, and you don't get the half bath until you get to 35 feet. There is a consequence of being 35 feet. It's not a big consequence because you can still get into like the state park where we are right now.
Some state parks. California is usually 30 feet.
Also, the fifth wheels have you could be 30 amp or you could be 50 amp by just running one air conditioning unit. So you could call up an RV park. If they didn't have availability on a 50 feet, you could just squeeze into a 30, I meant to say 50 amp. You could just squeeze into a 30 amp site. So that was my thinking. But we will, as short notice as we travel, we will pay the price for 35 feet. There's no question.
I'm sure.
But
that's fine.
But we're paying the price. We're paying the price being 28 feet right now.
We'll get more crafty. That's what will happen.
That's right. And
you just
plus,
figure things out.
The toy haulers have a Cummins Owens generator, onboard generator that runs off of propane, which means you can run both AC units, and it has bigger freshwater tanks. So if the RV parks are full, we actually can legitimately BLM, whereas Ginger, just with all 5 of us, we just can't do it very long.
3 days.
And what's interesting is the trailer, and this makes no sense at all, and we were just talking about this because where were we recently? In Dana Point at the state park with no hookups. $40 a night, no hookups, no water.
$40, no hookups. Oh,
no
so we pulled in. Listen to Sarah, I think for this conversation. We pulled in and I'm like, Mark, we don't have anything. I thought we had water. So we rolled in completely dry. We were not prepared for a full dry camping experience. And then to top it off, there were ants. So we had a full infestation with no supplies. So anyway, it was kind of a little baby nightmare, but we got through it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it was. So anyway, there'll be some consequences with the.
Well, what I was going to say too is that
it gets,
when we're BLMing, the trailer gets dirty faster. It makes no sense whatsoever, but it does. The trailer.
Because you just can't use the same amount of water.
Yeah, maybe because we're not using enough water. I don't know, but anyway. Okay, so then wait, hold on, because I'm multitasking. I'm not being distracted. I'm just getting texts and then I'm looking at the messages.
We're just getting questions. Here we go.
Okay, so now, this was a big one, and a lot of people asked. So let me get my SD chips or my external hard drive.
I don't know where he's going.
Well, Joe and Paula and a few others asked, what do we do to manage data? So,
oh my gosh,
these are the 2 terabyte external hard drives that I buy. And right now we're going through about 1 terabyte per month. So this fills up in 2 months. And then the reason I have 2 is because when I'm editing videos that happen to be in between external hard drives, I have to plug them both in.
It's very funny to watch.
So
They're all over the place.
now the reason you're probably wondering, because someone says, do you have like a 16 gig external hard drive? No, because I can't emotionally handle potentially losing that much data. So this is like my fail-safe plan, that if anything were to happen, I would only lose 2 gig. But 2 gig is 2 terabytes. 2 terabytes is 2 months. So then that made me a little nervous. So then what I did is I have endless of these things, because they're actually, these are $80, and I think they actually went up to $90, but these things can be really expensive, the fast ones. And so these aren't the best in the world, but I did some research and I found out that external hard drives tend to fail because of like usage and age. And because I'm buying a new one of these every other month and then retiring it into a drawer, I feel pretty good that it's not going to fail. Because what ended up happening is I got one that I was just backing up all of what I would call like unedited footage. So I would move all the unedited footage onto this, and then I would back up the unedited footage to this. And that happened, I did that like once before I realized I'm going to make a huge mistake and I'm accidentally going to copy a thing over. It just happened with Nate and Marissa with Less Junk, where they were moving files over and they made a mistake and then they lost it. I mean, that's when mistakes are made, when you're like moving files around.
But I don't even think it was a mistake. It like literally got lost somehow when he moved it from one unit to the next.
Yeah.
It just like, well, I guess it's a mistake, but
he
made a fabulous video out of that mistake.
The scariest thing that I do, which happens every few days, is I put in a 64 gig external chip. So like this is the 64 gig chip to the
look how tiny that thing is.
To the GoPro and the drone. And just in case if anyone's into this, this little chip has a number 3 inside that little U.
Oh yeah.
3. And the number 3 signifies that it writes to disk faster than a number 1. If and what's funny is a GoPro will come with an SD chip with a little number 1, which is a slow writing disk. I might be getting a little too technical here, but if you change your frame rate on your GoPro to 60 frames per second, that writes to this disk so fast that the chip with the 1 can't keep up with it and the GoPro will shut off.
Yeah, every time you go to hit record, it can only take like 30 seconds.
Because you're overloading, it can't write, and then it just shuts off. And it took me forever to figure out why the GoPro was just shutting off. And then I finally figured it out. So I only buy these 3, the chips with the little 3. And by the way, these at Best Buy are like $50, $60. On Amazon, they're $29.
Yeah, how about that?
So, again, these things are crazy expensive in the stores, but they're like $89, $90 on Amazon. So anyway,
all I just heard was the Charlie Brown.
Did you have your homework? Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so that's what I do. I buy these and I save them. I don't recycle them. I just put them in a drawer, and then every other month I buy a new one, and then I take this little guy and I move it over into here. And I'm going to do a video on how I do this because I have a whole file structure of how I keep track of things. I've done it. I did it one way for season 1. I did another way for season 2, and now I have the way that I actually do it. I used to do it by destination, and then I used to do it by date. And I can't tell you how many times I would say to Trisha, I'd say, I can't find the footage of us going to the, let's just say the waterfall. It's gone. And she'd say, just keep looking. I said, no, I've looked for it. It's gone. It should be right here. We did this. Then we drove here. This is where it should be. It's not there. And I'm like freaking out. And she says, just keep looking. And then sure enough, I would find it like an hour later.
Just keep swimming.
I would find it. So what I've done now is I've evolved to how I do it to avoid that panic, because that panic is happening like pretty much every other episode. I would think I lost a whole segment that I didn't lose.
Yeah, and he's like yelling my name, and we live so close that it's like all this drama. And so anyway, we figured it out. Okay, so we covered a rig, we covered a little bit of homeschool, we covered a lot of data. The people that are here right now, do you have any particular questions, anything you wanted to pick our brain about that we could, I don't know, help, give, offer up?
Please tell me something.
Hey, Mark, it's Alan.
Yeah.
Hey, I was kind of curious about that. Your F-150, any problems?
No, I was just telling someone today, the F-150 has just flipped 100,000 miles on this trip to San Diego. And the only thing I've done is I replaced the interstate battery. I replaced the battery with an interstate battery when we were in Vancouver. And we replaced, Trish replaced the battery when we were in Vancouver.
Just saying.
And then I replaced the fuel pump fuse, the 20 amp fuel pump fuse in Bend. Those are the only two things I've done with the truck other than change the oil.
Mm-hmm.
Now the transmission you asked about, I actually don't know. And maybe Alan, maybe you would know, and Harold would know. When we were coming out of Jackson on this last video, and you saw me on the side of the road, we were in first gear getting up that hill. First gear. The truck has never been in first gear in all of the 50,000 miles I think we've been. It's never been in first gear. And first gear is loud. It's not a fun gear to be in.
It was not fun.
Pulling up.
Well, and then going downhill.
Well, that's another story. But now I saw the transmission creep up to about 244 degrees, I think it was. And I've never seen it above 214. Now, I don't know if 250 is hot, but I just decided, because there were people behind me, I just decided to pull over on every side and just let the transmission get back down to like 210 and let some people pass me and then start again. What are your thoughts? Is that hot for a transmission?
Well, you know, it can, in my opinion, I'm kind of a car guy. I'm actually a service manager for a service center. It sounds like that. I mean, have you had it flushed lately, anything like that? And were you in tow mode?
Always in tow mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never had a flush. Oh wait, oh no, I did have a flush. I don't know if I had a flush or not. I think I did. I think before we went to Mexico, I took it into Ray and I said, anything this truck needs, do it. And I think, oh, but he didn't do the flush because he says—
Didn't he say like the fibers or something he didn't want to—
He wanted to send me to a tranny shop, and he said that flushes sometimes are not as good for the truck as people think, and so he wasn't recommending one.
How many miles are on it, Mark?
He just said
now it's got
100. Have you had it done recently? I mean, has it been regular about every 60? Or no?
No, I don't think I've done it.
And the reason for that is because the fibers or the friction material that's on the clutch discs that are in the automatic transmission will actually come off of those plates and get into the fluid and help it shift. Is probably why he probably did a safeguard, because he didn't want to have to buy you a transmission.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen that happen before too, where people will never flush them, and then they'll flush them at 100,000 miles, but all that sediment essentially gets washed away and begins to clog up all the valves and everything else in those transmissions. And yeah, you can kill a transmission very easily that way. Yeah,
and the friction material that comes off those plates that gets into the fluid will actually help that transmission shift. Whenever you take that out of the equation, then you're smooth plating it, you know.
It doesn't shift as well now when I'm not towing. It shifts great when I'm towing, but now when I'm not towing and I'm not in tow haul, it has a slight clunk.
It's a Ford. It'll be fine.
So my question then is, well, your thing is now you're saying maybe I shouldn't get a tranny flush. Don't mess with it.
Nope. I mean,
I wouldn't.
In my opinion, personally, I mean, if you're experiencing problems, it could probably make them worse, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good, because I want to get an F-350 or an F-350.
And it sounds like you're on that target anyway. So.
All right. So yeah, what other questions do you guys have here?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How different do you think your whole experience would be if you weren't doing this whole YouTube thing?
Oh,
totally
different.
Totally different.
It really pushes us. You have to like weigh, am I doing this because I want to record it, or am I doing this because I really want to have the experience? But what ultimately ends up happening is it gets our butts out of bed, out of the RV, pushing us to go find out what's happening in the area. And then that leads into having conversations with local people that are like, oh, no, you got to do it this way, or this is a better idea, or have you seen this? And like, it has just given us more than we could ever imagine by 100-fold.
Mm-hmm.
But really what it is it's just the impetus to get out there. So I guess why I'm saying that is we could do that with or without the YouTube channel, but it gives us the motivation to do it consistently.
I don't think we would. I think it would end up working.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to peel. I mean, you see in the videos how we don't get out of the trailer until like noon is early. That's because we're actually doing like school and work and that kind of stuff. And then eventually the conversation happens. Mark, we're in Banff for another day and a half. If we don't go now and we don't get to a lake and we don't get to a hike and we don't get to a bear, there's not going to be an episode in Banff. So I'm like, okay. And then we leave. And then I think I'll do this later. And then we don't get back until 9. And then we're up at 5:30.
Yeah. So we just keep waking up earlier to keep getting our work done. And then we go into the night to get everything else done.
Cool.
Oh, hey, Mark, just real quick. Back to the transmission thing. You could probably get away with putting a little bit of new fluid in it if you just did like a drain and fill like they did in old school. Because it only gets rid of about probably 45-50% of the fluid, as where a flush does about 95%. And as far as the temperature goes, maybe a larger external automatic transmission cooler.
Ooh.
All right.
Very cool.
Cool.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
we end
so
up keeping ginger.
A partial fill.
Mhm.
Is that what you?
Yeah, whenever you drop the transmission pan down, you're only going to lose about probably 45-50%.
Okay.
Because you've got so much other fluid and so many different components of the transmission. And the second you hook up and you do a power flush through it, then you're gonna flush out about 95% of it.
All right.
Cool. All right. Thank
Or
you.
you can just buy the 350.
And be done.
Yes. Yes. Good.
That is plan A. Plan B would be we keep the truck and we go to Alaska, and then I'll probably end up doing those. Different upgrades, and I'll probably do the relocation kit on that fuse also.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what else we got?
When are you coming back east?
Ooh,
good
good
question.
question. We just touched on that the other day, though, because we were thinking if we do Alaska,
Mhm.
and then when we come back from Alaska, if we
Mhm.
went all across the top of Canada and then did the East Coast.
Well, the reason for that is that Tori starts school in August, and the last thing we'd want to do is drive from Arizona to Alaska and back to Arizona.
In like 2.5 months.
In 2.5 months. So then we thought we would do is we'd drive to Alaska, and instead of driving all the way home, we would leave the rig, hopefully Ginger 2.0, somewhere up north in British Columbia, and then fly home to send Tori off to school,
She needs a proper send-up.
and then come back and finish all of our unfinished business in like Banff and head east because like Canada's awesome.
Oh, and we didn't even scratch the surface in Banff.
Yeah.
We only saw what we were driving by, a hike,
yeah.
Going to the super biggest spots to go see, like Louise. And so Louise.
Yeah, Louise.
Louise.
Anyway, but where in the east are you, Jonathan? Is he still there?
Currently, all the way down in Central Florida.
Oh. Well, that's another subject because we
That
love
is-
Florida.
Wow.
We loved Florida. And for some reason, Florida does not seem very far away from Arizona anymore.
You have to make your way across Texas.
I know, but like, there's just something about like, we did it like in a week. And it was
Yeah,
like,
we really
it
did.
was like no big deal. And I thought to myself after we drove it, I'm like, well, that wasn't a big deal. Why are we going to Florida more? Like it really felt close.
Mhm.
But Oregon feels close to me. I think after you live in an RV and drive around the country for 17 months or however long we've been doing this, I think after a while you're like when I was looking at fifth wheels in Tennessee, and I'm like, it just didn't. I don't even blink. You're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll get out there. I'll go.
Yeah, the gentleman was like, well, how would we deliver? And Mark's like, well,
We'll
I
get
just go get it.
Well, when you're on your way to Florida, stop by Denver, and we'll go ahead and have some lunch.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Colorado.
Who's in Denver?
We are.
Oh, you are. Oh, is that Alan? Was that Alan? All right. Well.
Yeah, Rocky Mountains. You got to see the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where in Colorado are you guys?
We're in Denver.
Denver. Okay. Did they just say?
We're actually right on the foothills, Wilson. We're like 5 minutes from
5 minutes from the mountains.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Well, we might be in your neck of the woods this winter.
Hmm.
Well, it's winter. It snowed yesterday.
What's winter for you?
Oh my goodness. So yeah, for sure, we'll let you know because this season is the Southwest checklist, and we keep going like this. This is the Southwest.
I know.
The Southwest.
Yeah.
So anyway, that would be fantastic.
That's kind of what I said when I grew up in LA, went to school in Long Beach, and went, I have to live south of I-10. I've grown up south of I-10 because in my military career, I spent 2 years in Point Barrow. If you don't know where Point Barrow is, it's the northernmost point in the North American continent in Alaska.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Wow.
It is the 5 months of darkness.
Oh, wow.
A couple weeks of transition and then 5 months of sunlight. So
make a good video.
Wow.
Well, it's great if you like to play tennis at 2 o'clock in the morning in full sunshine. But a bunch of us took motorcycles across the Trans-Canada highway. And yeah, I agree with you. Going from west to east in Canada is going to be an amazing adventure.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that would be really very.
But Florida's good too. We like Florida. There's no state. Or the one thing we're really remiss in doing is the middle.
We're trying to figure out how to do that in a
Kentucky, Tennessee. There's amazing stuff.
Nashville. Oh my goodness, I would love to see Nashville.
And you're gonna have to get in there at some point. All right, what else you guys got?
All I gotta say is you gotta quit calling it a car.
Oh, yes, you're right.
I know we always hear about that.
You're
when
right.
We say it. I don't even know when we say it.
Yeah, I know. You're right, though. The truck.
Yeah, we probably called it car on this call. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, you have those here. Let's go through some of these.
I think it's easier on my phone. Okay, let's look here. Oh wait, that's the live stream. Okay, here we go. What is this? Jennifer says, I'm picking up my husband at the airport. Maybe I can get an Uber. Maybe he could get an Uber. Just kidding. That's funny.
That's funny.
All right, let's get a couple more questions from the list here. Just because this is going to replay, I hope. The next one's going to go smoother, and I really like the idea of getting the link and then just posting the link and avoiding the whole Google Hangout thing. Although it's really nice to hear people too.
Well, I'm excited that you all are here helping
I know.
us figure this all out, and
Yeah.
we can actually see you and have a conversation.
I know. That was so funny when Rena started talking. I'm like,
what? We're like hanging out for real.
I know.
But you need more people on. Or if you had too many people with all of their pictures and talking, it would be too many like this.
Yeah,
So
even
that's why they limit it.
darting back and forth trying to see where the picture is going.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I think that's all the questions.
All right.
Hey, I have a quick question about, can you see this?
Will you show us one more time?
It's like, it's the tire minder, and it's like those things that you put on the trailer tires to tell you if there's a problem. So our son works at a tire shop, and when he saw that we bought this, he got really mad at us and was like, those things don't work. They're no good. You wasted your money. But I've heard you guys talk about how helpful they have been. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
The one that we bought has issues and doesn't work, but the tire binder does. Why didn't he like it? Did he tell you why?
He just said those things don't work and you guys don't need it. You guys don't go camping that much. You know, we go once a month. And he was like, those people, they're doing it 24/7. They need that stuff, but you guys don't need it. But
well, here's why I like it. I like it because there's no way to know when you're driving down the road and things feel differently. There's no way to know you have a flat tire. Our second flat tire, someone came up beside us and went like this, and I kind of went like this, and then she went like that, and then I went like this.
No, I think
she went
they
like
gave
this,
us the thumbs up first.
and then
like,
yeah, and then I went like this. It was the weirdest conversation. And then she drove off, and then Trish said, "What was that about?" And I said, "I don't know." And then like I saw in my rearview mirror that we had a flat tire. So
yes,
like on a double axle trailer, you just can't tell. And so there'll be times we're driving down and the freeway surface will change and it'll sound differently, or the trailer will feel heavier.
Or you get off some of those bridges and there's a massive impact.
Yeah.
And you're like, I wonder what happened. Is everything okay?
And so I can look down and be like, oh, well, there's no flats. So it's just, I mean, that's worth it in and of itself. But then the next piece is, it's a pain in the butt to go check all the air in your tires, and you should do it all the time. So it's nice to just get into the cabin, look at it, and know that everything's properly inflated. And at the end of the day, people just stop. They just stop checking. Okay, I shouldn't say people. I stopped checking. It's like it takes time to go around there, and even though I have a little digital one, it's kind of handy. But PSI is critical. Absolutely.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. I will say, someone asked me how those new tires are working out from literally the very first flat tire. Not a single issue from that original tire. And I wish we did a better job tracking our miles, because now that we're like going into this truck and somebody asked for a picture of my truck, and so I was going through my phone looking for the pictures. I saw a picture of the odometer before we left, and the odometer was 51,000. And as I said, it just rolled 100,000. So we've gone 50,000 miles since we left. And
But there's a lot of city driving. Like
There's a lot of
we'll
city
arrive
driving.
and then we'll drive the car around and around.
The tow odometer, because trucks, Rena, trucks have the towing odometer, and the towing odometer reads 29,000. So, gosh, could we have really done 29,000 towing and 50,000 not towing?
I believe we can.
Yeah.
We do a lot of exploring.
Yeah, we do.
I didn't know it had that feature where it would tell you how many tow miles you've done versus how many regular.
And you have to be hooked
And
up,
weird.
because then the different screen will come up with the tow settings.
Do you have yours set up where it says that you're pulling Ginger?
I should, but I don't.
That would be awesome.
Ours says we're pulling Maggie.
Really?
Yeah.
There's different
Oh,
settings.
Mark. We
Yeah,
have to
and
do
it
that
recognizes
immediately.
the plug
We
to it.
actually have about 190 miles on Maggie. I've got that set up.
Oh, nice.
And we got a birthday card for Maggie. It's title registration.
Woo, title
You got another year older.
Yeah, we're gonna get personalized plates. It's gonna say TWD fan. Walking Dead.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That is great.
All right, what other questions you guys have? Well,
And then we'll wrap up.
nothing. There's only a few mics on.
Yeah.
That's why I wish we could talk, because we're type. Because I think there'd be a lot more questions if there was typing. In
Well,
fact,
when we
probably.
tried to do this in Bend, that's what ended up happening. It was just
Hey, I tell you guys what, if you guys are ever in the Midwest, Arizona, Nebraska, Texas, Colorado, and you guys ever need any kind of service on your vehicle, go into a Brakes Plus. I'm not promoting, but tell them that you're a good friend of mine, and you can get the friends and family discount.
like that.
Does that apply to all of us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're family here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, I have another question. Have you guys had any issues with being somewhere where it's cold and potentially having freezing issues?
Only in Arizona. Last
See that?
season, as soon as we roll into Arizona, it got down to like 22 degrees, 23 degrees, and our freshwater hose froze.
Well, we're about to head out to Albuquerque, and people are telling us it is cold.
Yeah.
So we'll
my
see.
plan is to get one of those Camco hoses, or get one of those zero degree hoses, so that I don't have to worry about like insulating it.
We've already got one. Right?
Yeah, so that was my thinking there. And then other than that, because Ginger's 4-season, theoretically, I'd like to see it. Theoretically, there's a heat hose that comes down underneath the trailer, and it blows hot water in that lower
Hot air.
chassis, hot air.
But we're going to get one of those little temperature gauges that we can put down there and read from inside, so that we can be sure that we're keeping everything warm.
Yeah, I just have to figure out where to put that little thermostat.
We do not need freezing issues.
No, we have enough issues. Just anyway.
Is the only issue, is the only difference between a 3 and 4 season, is it just the downpipe for the drains? Is that it?
Well, and that
underbelly
cover.
and that cover at the bottom to keep the air keep
it fully enclosed.
And the vent, and it has the hot water vent. And then theoretically maybe there'd be more insulation, but I don't know. I've seen videos of how these trailers are made.
Really cool tidbit about Colorado is in the state of Colorado, if your camper has a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen, it's considered a second mortgage and you get to write off all your interest.
Yes, here too, in
Yeah.
Arizona. Yes.
Okay, cool.
And the downside to that is that every year I have to get like registration for the tags, whereas a trailer in Arizona has permanent tags.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So they sent it to me, and I'm like, what's this?
What's
They're like,
this?
it's like, and it was due. So anyway, I did it. I got the tags last when we were in Texas, and I never had the tags actually forwarded to me. So the tags actually say they're current, and I have a picture of it on my phone, but the tag is from last February. And I can't believe we haven't been pulled over. I mean, every time there's a cop behind me, I'm like, well, he's gonna pull me over. They never pulled me over.
So
They're not interested in RVers. RVers, I think, generally speaking,
they're like, just let them
Just let 'em
go.
go. Just
Let
let
them- we don't need to deal with that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we always are wondering from our perspective is what we can do to make our Patreon feed so that we can continue to communicate.
yeah.
Are there like things that you guys would like to know about while we're visiting these different places? I can't promise everything above because we're already like, okay, what can we do? But I just would like to know what's interesting for you. What can we do more? What can we post about that would be helpful? Anything in particular?
I love seeing you guys act like a goofy family. That's my favorite part. Especially your funny voices, Mark. That is the best. I'm sorry. I love it.
The totality of my voice.
No, it was way deeper, way deeper. Oh,
I edited it to make it deeper.
yes, yes. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's
I think you're doing a fantastic job
all right.
Oh, thank
because you mix it up so well with the scenery, where you're going. You outline what you're about to do. Then you have some hints about what you're doing, and you're funny. And I mean, I think you're doing a great job. I just want to keep track of highlights on my own to find out so I'm going to go on some of these places myself, and I want to be able to remember what you said. I
Yes.
can't remember it. That's my biggest problem.
Okay.
Well, one of the videos that is coming up is I'm going to do like a tutorial on how YouTube works because, we cut the cable of TV 5 years ago or so. And as a result of that, I ended up figuring out how YouTube really works. And a lot of people, they like there's search features inside the YouTube that people don't know about. And because all of our videos are tagged really well, if you use the search feature in the videos, all the videos pertaining to that word will come up. But I think we could do a better job maybe creating some more like a travel guide.
Yeah, I know. I did a whole outline of Banff. And it's like literally just sitting on my computer.
We are working right now on a new website, and the wireframe will be done by this week, and I hope to get it launched by next month. The purpose of the new website is the original Keep Your Daydream website was for podcasting, and it just did not work over to like video. And it does not work at all for blogging. So like Trish done a complete blog on Banff that would outline probably all the things that you would track of. But it's so much harder to get the video done and then get the blog done.
So we just need a website that will let us easily upload information because here's the picture, here's the information. I mean, it doesn't even have to be fancy. It needs to just be like a checklist almost. So that exactly like what you're saying, I'm here. Now what we're supposed to go see it.
What was that RV?
Yeah.
What was the RV park that they told us not to stay at, but they didn't mention on the video, mention it in their blog?
Yes.
Because that's what's going to happen.
Well,
that's why I want the blog. I want the blog to be a written journal for all the stuff that we missed in the video. Wish we would have said. Wish we would have footage of, or I mean, someone asked us at the meetup. I think it was someone asked us. They said, "Oh, you were in Santa Barbara." And I don't remember you mentioning which RV park you stayed at in Santa Barbara.
He said, I saw it, but you didn't say anything. I said, we don't say anything about the parks we don't like. So we don't want to be like, So we just kind of gloss over and we move on and say, hey, this is what we did when we were there. So it would be nice to say, because I already have an idea of where we would stay the next time we go there.
Yeah.
So, and I described that to them and said, hey, this is where I would stay and this is where I would drive. And they're like, oh, okay, done. That's what we would
And
do.
we can include that in a blog easily by saying, you know,
and
we
we
stayed
wouldn't
here.
offend anybody.
Yeah, we stayed here and we didn't necessarily like it. We would stay here next time. No big deal. You say that on a video, and we've just seen there's all sorts of problems. And the RV park thing starts with you, and they say, you know, well, I'm going to get my attorney to say you have to take that video down. It's like, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
And you can edit the blog so much easier if you decided, oh, you know what, we need to take that out. Whereas taking it out of the video is obviously a lot harder. But you guys already have so much you're doing. I don't know how you could even think of adding more.
Well,
I just think that website needs to easily communicate with just easy typing, uploading videos, and not videos, pictures, so that it's just a reference. It doesn't have to be fancy.
Yeah.
Right.
But listening to it gave me so much information about you guys.
Listening to what?
The podcasts.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, the podcast. Well, and you know, we would love to take that in another, see that we get these ideas. We're like, no more ideas. No more. Just sit down and do what we've already set out to go do. But we would love to sit down in the podcast and make that more about the aha moments that we've had over traveling and like just these conversations right here. And
yeah, we want the podcast to be more of the how to make certain things happen, and the channel to be kind of like the destination and the inspiration behind it. So.
And then share periodic stories, share our stories, and then share other people's stories. But we just can really not spread ourselves too thin. Otherwise, the videos, which is our ultimate priority, just.
One reason I like the podcast is because when I'm traveling, I don't have internet very often because I hardly ever stay at parks. And so I can listen to podcasts easier because I can download them and just listen and not have to have my computer going with the video. And anyway, so I enjoy them for that reason.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah, you can completely just get everything ready in your queue and be done. That's really nice. Here's Carson.
I went to Dutch Bros.
Hey, Carson.
I want to stay. Can you say hi?
Hi, Carson.
Hello.
Hey, Carson.
Hello.
Hello, Carson.
I have another question for you. We've only been out twice, but the two places that we've been, it seems like there's a lot of people that actually live there in their campers. And it's kind of yucky, like they don't take care of them, and they're just, do you see a lot of that in the places that you go?
We do, and well, we don't, but we have avoided. I think they're called full-timer parks, but you can tell that on like an Allstays app, and you can go and you can look at the pictures. So when we look at an RV park, and a lot of people don't know this, but in Allstays there is a images button. So when you pull up the camp, you can click images, and you can actually look at the images that people took of the park.
Okay.
And that's really important because, so I do that, and I also do Google satellite of the park.
Oh.
Because you could look at like for instance that park that Trisha's talking about in Santa Barbara is the only park in Santa Barbara, and the website looks fabulous. The Calistoga Park in Napa Valley, the website looks amazing. Had I Google imaged Calistoga RV Park, there's no way I would have stayed there.
Yeah.
It's a dirt parking lot with hookups.
Yeah. The last place we were at, it rained all day, and the next morning I opened the curtains. I had to take the dogs out to the bathroom, and it was a river of mud.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, but you're right about the full-timer parks. It's a different vibe because they're actually not RVers. They're actually just living in an RV. And well, of course, we're living in an RV, but it's not mobile. I mean, the tires don't even have to be inflated because there's no intention to ever move the RV.
I think it also depends on where you are because, like, if you were to go to a place like Lake Tahoe where the cost of living is skyrocketed and you found an RV park that was half people are living there and people are vacationing, I think, like in Tahoe, that happened, and it Coachland, and it was nice, and people really had pride in their area and everything like that, and the grounds were taken care of beautifully. Every day they were manicuring.
Yeah, that's true.
However, when we were in Seattle or Portland, excuse me, there was a half live, half non, and we were like, boys, you are not riding your bikes by yourselves. These are the rules. This is what we're gonna do because it didn't feel very safe. So
yeah, and they seem really cliquey.
Oh,
Well, yeah, I can see
maybe.
that, yeah.
We weren't even there long enough, but we rolled in and we're like, okay, we have to figure out how to decode this because I don't want to end up in this situation again.
Yeah.
So you really started looking at the
you can spot
Google Maps. You can kind of
you can spot them pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like we rolled into a residential neighborhood. We didn't roll into a campground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell because there's multiple cars in front of the rig. There's multiple, usually motorcycles. There's like permanent tent structures. Like there's things that start growing around the site. So
Okra, pumpkins, watermelons, that kind of stuff.
it's
Yeah,
a totally
apparently,
different vibe.
apparently the owners like those parks, they tend to cater to those full timers more, the ones that are there, and so I think I've read some stories about folks that have gone in and I guess they're a little disruptive, and the owners will pretty much always side with the full time folks more. So
Yeah,
I would imagine because that's who they're going to be with.
yeah, but it doesn't happen very much anymore. And lately, when you're off season, we'll just roll into a campsite. We won't even call. I mean, if it's Monday through Thursday, if it's Monday through Thursday on season, or any day of the week off season, we can just roll into a campsite and check it out.
Like a little visual. How's this going to work?
Mm-hmm. And if we like it, then we go into the office and well, maybe sometimes I'll call and just kind of get some rates and availability in advance. But we don't make any commitments anymore because we're like literally making reservations as we're driving.
There was a place in Spokane, Washington. We rolled in and rolled right out.
Yes.
We called, and the gentleman was super nice, of course. But then we got there, and we were like, no, we're not doing this.
But there was a place that we rolled into in Fort Bragg, and it was not a desirable RV park, but the owner was great and had a really cool vibe, and it had good internet, and we stayed, and it was awesome.
So you guys thinking about another dog ever in your future?
Well, I say it's our duty to get another dog to really, have that whole experience. And if we travel outside of the continental U.S., it would be kind of cool to see what kind of paperwork we need to
go. Doesn't that sound awesome?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to see how that all goes. But the answer is no, we're not doing it. No, not right now. Let's see.
I think Tori needs a dog when she goes to college.
Do you know that was the number one thing he said? He said, now when you move in, you are allowed to have a goldfish. We even recommend a turtle, but you may not have dogs, cats. I can't even believe that had to be part of the conversation.
Well, that's why.
Can you imagine rolling up to college with like your lab or your Pomeranian?
The fact is, Maddie was so old that she was easy, and even easy was not easy.
No,
she was easier, but she was not easy. And so at 6 in the morning, I would hear her little claws on our little fake laminate, our little fake wood laminate,
clink, clink,
clink, clink, clink, clink, clink, walking around. And it wasn't like we were like taking turns. It was Mark. Maddie's up.
Mark.
It sounds like she needed a dog groomer. I'm a dog groomer.
Yes. Though, we met a couple in Mexico, and they adopted 2 little puppies, and he built this like hole in their fifth wheel with a ramp that went down below, and they built like this netting that went in the front of their fifth wheel part. I was like, wow, that's
he created
impressive.
like in the front of his underneath
but the
fifth wheel.
dogs go out anytime they want, roam around, come back in.
Pretty cool.
Really cool. Although we got ants staying in Dana Point. What animals could crawl up in your RV? I'm like, out. But it was a very cool idea.
That is a cool idea.
Yeah, but then when he moved it, he had to clean all the poop.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'd be heck trying to get that thing hooked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can stay at one of these full-timing parks and not even worry about it.
Are y'all pairing up with any vendors again? Like, because you all have the giveaways, like the ZAMP and all of that. Is that?
Yeah. So we got to do this dog video, which we thought we would do in San Diego, but it turns out that's a big topic. So we posted it on Facebook. We got all those questions.
Gosh.
We're like, oh, we need to do our research on this one.
This needs to be a good one.
And so it turns out there's a really cool product for dogs too that manage the temperature of your rig and then send text alerts when they fall below certain temperatures. So I wanted to reach out to them, but there's a company that just sent us a hose, a kinkless hose. It's actually from Marine and RV, and it is awesome.
He came inside with it. He's like, I love this.
It is awesome.
I love this thing. So
My
anyway.
biggest pet peeve, because we've spent so much time up in British Columbia, and I don't care even in the summertime in British Columbia, the water that comes out of the ground is cold, and the hose is not very flexible. And wrapping these things up is freezing. And
I don't think I took a warm shower in British Columbia.
No.
Doesn't matter how long your water heater's on.
No, and in Arizona
Well,
you don't even
for
need
us.
a hot water heater. It's just always hot.
It's always hot.
But anyway, so this hose, it's not one of those things that collapse. It's like a bungee cord almost, but it doesn't have a stretch. And I can literally just wrap around my hand like this. It's fantastic. So anyway,
but we're going with the dog video. We are going to give away a remote lock.
oh yeah, the remote lock. So the RV lock. We
An
still
RV
have
lock.
another. We still have another Wilson weed boost, which we want to pair up with our working remotely video.
And
Check it out. Dealing with bronchitis, so it's rather not unmute.
Oh, sorry,
okay,
Jeff.
All right, well, Jeff, I now finally, thanks to Andy, I finally figured out the group chat showed up. So if anyone has any questions they want to type, that would be cool.
Sweet. Okay. So
Learning.
that
Yeah, I just found it.
Yeah.
very cool. Okay,
Where
so
is it?
that's what we're doing for the
In the upper left corner, by the word Google, there's a blue, well, on
Oh.
my Mac,
It just popped up. Okay.
there's a blue little chat window.
So,
And then you could chat, but anyway.
but man, I tell you what, if anyone comes across RV products that are really good, I'd love to. Oh, it auto hides. I'd love to reach out to them. So
Mhm.
yeah, let me know if you come across any stuff. But yeah, we love doing that,
It's really
and we
fun.
want to be doing giveaways like every month.
Give away a drone. We need a cool drone.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
Well, and we reached out to because we've got that. So we reached out to Canon to
Well, we reached out to DJI to see if we could hook up a subscriber that has, I think I mentioned it in the last KYD update video. He's got a terminal condition of cystic fibrosis. And so he was, because of terminal, Make-A-Wish ended up hooking him up with an RV so that he can go travel to go see his family in the RV.
Mhm.
And I thought that was a slam dunk to get DJI to like hook him up with a drone or get Canon. Apparently it's not. So I was kind of disappointed.
that was a little bit. They have a little bit of a tighter
yeah.
threshold on
Yeah.
who they're giving things out to. So anyway, but if you have any ideas, we love to communicate with them. It's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Because then we get to try it out, see if it's worth its weight in salt, and then give it away, and then they are excited because other people get awareness.
Yep.
I'm surprised you guys don't have people from Amazon beating down your door, because I only have 20,000 subscribers, and I get emails from them 5 times a week trying to get me to give away stuff.
Well, we do get things like here's a wood watch, and here's this, and here's that.
We get a lot of things that are not applicable.
And they're not applicable. So we don't want to come off every time, even if we're trying to give a win-win, if we're saying, hey, check this out, what would you call it?
The cynical side of YouTube just thinks that we're sellouts.
And like trying to.
And even when it's like Zamp Solar, something that I think is completely irrelevant. So, so yeah, we just make sure that everything that we do is like really relevant to
on point
to the audience and something that we think people are really going to enjoy.
No matter what we do, we're always going to get that like, what would you call that voice on YouTube? The dark cloud people. So anyway, so we just want to make sure that if we're going to take heat, we're taking heat for the right thing, and we can just be like,
yeah.
Hey, listen, you don't like that we're giving this away. I'm sorry. So
hey, you guys aren't doing any political, videos, so you should be fine.
Zero. Yes.
Zero. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, so Jonathan said regarding Pike's Place, I saw fish catching attempts, but did anyone catch the rubber fish?
Oh, there was a rubber fish?
Well, there was the rubber.
The one that they wiggle?
Yeah, the one they wiggle, but no, I don't know. I don't know if they caught the rubber.
Person got that fish on the first try.
And then Bill said he enjoyed Zamp when they went out to Carlsbad. That's super cool.
Oh,
and then
neat.
another Bill said, Bill Enos said, at some point, are you going to do a spreadsheet laying out monthly costs, camping tours, gas, food, etc.? I'm attempting to figure out the costs. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because it's because we're a family of 5 for that kind of stuff. So like our food bill, I think people would just go like crazy. They'd be like, "What?" I mean, it's like the kids are like literally eating the walls. So
Caleb literally has 2 breakfasts and 2 dinners, and Carson is just like massive snacker all day long. So it's like I'm feeding I don't know, 5 children.
But it's
plus
like
us.
but it's like I said before. I think that I think there's certain incidental costs that I think are basically the same as living in a house. If anything, a little cheaper. I was just telling Trish, like when we were waiting for this to go live, because Tori took Caleb to Dutch Bros. So we've been today to Chipotle, Hayway, Dutch Bros, Safeway.
Well, everybody had to go off in different directions today, so I'm not cooking. So that's really what
there's a savings in being on the road because you eat together,
and I make dinner, and it's
when
nice.
we go home, everyone spreads out, and then they all seem to have their own food budget.
But what I wouldn't mind doing is if we get that website so that we can communicate our blog, we can say this is how much this RV park was. This is how much, but to share like gas and things like that, it's so relative.
Well, gas is based upon how much we travel, and I tell you, if it was just Trish and I, we would travel twice as slow. We'd stay at places 3 times longer. BLMing. We'd be BLMing. It'd be such a different picture. So, but
what happened to the cooking videos?
That's on the list.
Another thing. I have come up with these ideas, and then we need.
Well, the next one you were going to do is croutons, and then you have a margarita, and you've got a third one. So more of that is coming.
Yeah, we have a savory.
And that's why we decided to turn that into a video blog, so that we could just keep adding like cooking videos and keep putting them on the deal until we have a complete thing, and then we can just turn all of that into like an e-cookbook.
I think our biggest nemesis is like turning things into, like, even with the dog video, we want to make sure that we capture as much as we can. So we're like, okay, well, we'll just wait for this and then we'll do it next week. Whereas, I mean, I could cook and show you what I'm cooking for dinner that night and be like, okay, this is what we're making. This is what you need. Da, 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 da. It just wouldn't feel very polished or so then what happens is, because we want to make it like nice and all of that, we wait.
Yeah.
So
that one you did was awesome. It was great.
We got to find that balance. Prefer to rubber fish. Yes. So,
I do think there's things we can do. I'm excited. I'm really excited to get the new website up, because there's all sorts of things we want to do. Like, I'm looking for plugins so that all the insiders, we have a pin of where the states they're located. Like, it's crazy how many insiders are in Texas and California and Oregon. Those are the 3 big states. And I think it would be super cool to see a map and see all the pins. And I think it would be cool to have some sort of application where people can actually like create a community. The other thing I have, I shouldn't even be saying this because like so much is on the list, but is we get so many ideas from people like, oh, you're going there, do this, do this, do this. And I think to myself, well, we don't have time to do that on this trip. But what a great idea for anyone that's going to that destination.
Yeah. So
then what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a section of the website where you can put in like a particular city in Oregon, and then all of the suggestions.
Be a living document.
All the suggestions from all of, not just insiders, but even anyone can go there and add their favorite trip, their favorite RV park. So in a way, I mean, I know there's websites that do all this stuff, and there's communities that do all this stuff, but my gripe with them is they've gotten huge. They've gotten like tens and tens of thousands of people, and it's lost its credibility, and you don't even know who to try. Like the full-timers groups anymore, I mean, I never ask a question in there. You're just going to get people saying, you know, you shouldn't have that problem. You should have bought this product. It's not helpful anymore. They've gotten too big.
You could call it the Daydreamer's bucket list.
Yeah.
Oh, super cool. Well, I just think it would be awesome if it was a living document so people can add to it, and you know, and people give so many great suggestions in the comments.
I know.
It's fantastic.
I know. It's great.
So anyway.
It'd be cool if I could just copy and paste and just put that under a destination.
Whose idea was it to do the whole YouTube thing? Did you have to talk, one of you have to talk the other one into it?
I don't know. We watched a lot of YouTube before we left. A lot of YouTube. So, and I think the podcast combined with the YouTube channel and whatnot. And here's the other thing. We reached the end of YouTube in the RV category. There was nothing left to watch. We
were so excited and so hungry. And we were like devouring everything.
And so we kind of felt like, well, we could make videos. And so
let's just try. Let's see what happens.
And let's do it. And I've always been interested in video stuff. I always thought that was kind of a cool creative outlet. So so that's how that whole thing happened.
Well, and the podcast was going, and that was like the stories, the inspiration. And then we're like, well, the videos could be what we end up doing, and let's see where we end up going and logging that somehow. And it was really the podcast that like just gave us that faith that.
And it was the fact that we really had no one else to watch. I mean, if we didn't have TV, because we cut the cable, which I really think really helped prompt us to go do this, because we weren't like I don't know, it was just it all came together at the right time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it really just was, hey, why not? Let's try. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's just been such a cool creative outlet. And then the community started growing, and we were like, oh my gosh, we're learning from everybody. People are like giving us ideas, and then look at tonight. We're sitting here talking.
Yeah.
It's like, it blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys said 30 minutes, and here we are, an hour and 15 minutes in.
I know,
oh my
I know.
gosh.
That's how it
Oh my
always
gosh.
goes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I don't want to keep anyone up too.
Oh
But
my
I do need to say this.
Yes.
I have to compliment the two of you on the video production quality. The sound, the images, it's exceptional.
Oh,
Very
thank
cool.
you. That's so cool.
My
Yeah.
original degree was in cinematography,
Oh,
and if it wasn't for the fact that I hated it, you do what I originally wanted to do right up until the time I had to process film. And processing 70 millimeter film back in the day was a bear. And we didn't have digital. So I went off and became a paramedic for 22 years. But what you're doing is awesome, just incredibly awesome. And I look forward to all of the videos.
Oh, that's so cool. I will tell you,
That is so
it
cool.
is so just the beginning. Where what I see the channel being able to do and what I'm capable of do, there is so much distance in between. I can't even tell you.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. So I try to make a little tiny tweak here, but like the next camera I'm looking at is the Panasonic GH5. That's going to record everything in HD or in 4K, and then just keep making
Baby
slow
steps.
improvements. But
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you so much. That's very cool. Well, we are so grateful that not only were you here tonight, that you had questions and that you're here, because it's just when we're out, like especially when we had our meetup in San Diego just 2 days ago, and then we get to sit here with you tonight and being totally sincere, it feels like we have a sense of community. And when we're traveling, we miss our family, and it's so nice to be able to have a group of people that like we can chat with. We know you're there, and we're excited to chat with you, and it just makes it meaningful. So thank you.
Hey, just real quick, is that you, Harold, that's up there right now? That was the paramedic.
No, that's Jonathan was the paramedic.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to kind of say just thank you for being a first responder and just being there for all of us that really need your help in the time that it really counts. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it is cool.
Very neat.
All right. Well, I think we learned a lot on this. I think I'm going to now, my next test is going to do an unlisted live video, and then I'm going to send out an email and see if people are on it live. And I think I can just do that without creating a bunch of drama. Go test that.
That's a naughty list item.
No, it's we're leaving
Sure.
it, and
You
it's
can have it small.
okay. Like I said, yeah, whatever mom says.
Tell the rest of the gang we missed seeing them too.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah.
They went off to Dutch Bros to get a congratulatory, I don't know, something or other for Tori. She wanted to go see all her friends.
You guys should take out stock in that company.
I know. It's ridiculous. We made her start paying for all of her own stuff. She's like, so today I got a water from Dutch Bros.
And
But at least I got to say hi to everybody.
yeah, we put her gas on quota because she was just driving everywhere.
Just driving in circles.
New rules about gas. I had to say, Tori, you see, I batch where I go. So if I have to go here and then I have to go there tomorrow, I'll just wait until tomorrow. She's like, all right, I get it.
All right.
Anyhow.
So anyway.
All right, guys, it was great to see you all.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good, you
All right,
guys.
we'll do this again. Harold, thanks for poking the bear on this too. And and we'll figure this out and do it more regularly because it's so much fun. We love
It's
doing
very
it.
cool.
This is great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm sorry everyone else couldn't make it, but we'll see you guys.
Good chatting with you guys.
Have a good night.
All right, take care. Bye.